I'm being joined tonight on the program to advance this conversation. Retired AIG Abutu Yaro is live for us here in our studio. Thank you so much, AIG, for joining us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
How fast, first and foremost, how fast could this redeployment is a redeployment? Because basically, if you're taking away from your present deployment, is a redeployment. Going back to base, how fast can this arrangement be? Because I know it cannot be immediate.
It is immediate. Directives in the police system is always with immediate effect. An immediate effect connotes that you start the implementation activities immediately. Implementation can be in phases, but it must be seen to be in action immediately. But we must emphasize strongly that we implement it with serious caution. If not, the fallout of a hasty implementation of this directive, the fallout will be regrettable in many respects. And we have historical antecedents to this mindset. For example, we're here in this country when policemen were withdrawn from the late Bolaige 2 to 3 hours after they withdrew them in his house. What happened has stand as one of the most difficult part of our national history. What happened thereafter? We are equally aware in this country that a VIP in the name of Funshaw William had no opportunity of police being with him. And what happened to him in his house at Ikoyi some years ago, a good number of us who are in the security business, we have not forgotten. Another situation that occurred in this country arising from this VIP withdrawal of policemen or security aides, it happened to late General Muhammad Shua in Maiduguri. Security details were not within his precincts, and he was terminated in his house. Another one was PDP, former PDP South-South Vice Chairman, National Vice Chairman South-South, one Chief Dikibo or whatever, operating without security details. What happened to him became another sore point in our national history. So
it is dangerous for VIPs. We don't have what it takes, or we don't have a crime, an environment that can protect, or that people can feel free, especially when you're politically exposed or a VIP.
Sure.
We have a porous environment.
Not necessarily porous. We have inadequate security environment. For example, in Africa, the first 3 major populous countries are Nigeria, Egypt, and Ethiopia. With our population of 230 million people, we are still operating with police strength of less than 500. Egypt, with a population of 106 people, they have a police strength of about 1 million.
Yeah.
Ethiopia, with a population of 96 million, they have a police strength of about 970,000. But yet we are here with a population of 230 million, running a police organization with less than...
So it stands logic on its head, isn't it?
It's not a problem.
Because just a moment, we have about 450,000 police officers. Maybe in the last few months, their recruitment, not up to 50,000, I understand. So we have less than 500,000. Now, out of that, those red beret bearing officers are what they call the SPU, the Special Protection Unit of the Nigerian Police Force. They are the ones who are deployed to guard VIPs and all whatnot. And about 100,000 from records and report are guarding VIPs in the country. How can you take 1/3 of your security personnel to guarding less than 1% of your population? Isn't logic being stood on its head?
Well, in a way, that concept stands logical. But in many ways, that concept is illogical. In security calculus, it's not the number of people in an environment that matters, but the strategic importance and influence that matters. Therefore, in a policing a district, people who have strategic value in terms of eminence, they are more prone to adverse criminality, much more than people who are otherwise.
But
and therefore, in security planning,
so you will
secure the vulnerability.
So you secure the few.
Not the few per se.
Against the advantage of the...
security design comes in various ways.
But
there are some security design that will entail that somebody has to be around you 24 hours. A security design can be that somebody will patrol in your area, your district, within 24 hours, without necessarily being within your precinct. So the design of deployment differs in as design or as instigated.
So the order of the president is not practicable. That's what you're saying.
That is not what we are saying. The implementation has to be
selective.
Not selective. The implementation must be with caution and.
You think the president is not guarded operation wise, because you're talking operation historical fact that you have reeled out, how the order of the president might endanger and cause a lot of danger. But you're not the first person that is saying it. Just for a moment.
Yeah.
Honorable Wase, the deputy speaker of the former deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, today on the floor I said, look, there are already threats on our lives if you take away our protection. These are members of the National Assembly. But the question is that the president did not make that order in isolation. He said in that order that men of the NSCDC should now take over that responsibility. Isn't that a fair enough arrangement to cover for the withdrawal? Must police officer guard? Is it not to safeguard? So anybody could guard them so far people are secured. Is that not what works?
Oh, Mr. Shegu, it is not so. Nobody is contesting the validity, the necessity otherwise of presidential. All of us are duty bound to implement whatever the president says. But what we are saying is that implementing agencies, that is particularly the Office of the Inspector General of Police, has to do more of homework in this implementation. If not, the fallback will be more disastrous to national security. We are not saying that. It is not in a very simplistic way, as you are putting it. The fact that they say civil defense should come in does not really work in that way. Civil defense all over the world, they are designed to take care of civilians in terms of national emergencies. Civil defense, not only in Nigeria, all over the world, are not designed to protect VIP and act as an alternative security platform to the police.
But we are not.
I'm not saying
in a normal situation, right?
Whether we are normal or not,
we
are running a country, and we operate in a committee of nations, and we must not do things that will make us to become more laughing stock in the committee of nations. It is a little bit. How do I put it? It's a little bit out of implementation. To say police get out from here, civil defense come out. It's just like telling a nurse to go and do the duty of a doctor. We must do this thing in circumspect. What
would you advise that the president? I mean, what do you think the president could have done differently?
What I think
if you were the president, would you have made that same order?
I wouldn't have ordered that police will leave VIP, because the VIPs are a very important segment of our nationhood.
More important than the
Not more
population.
important. I say very, very. All human beings are equal, but our quantum to national growth and development varies. Our quantum, even in a communist environment, policy makers, decision makers, the quantum of attention and care accorded to them by the state is different from ordinary people on the street.
What would you have advised the president?
What I would have advised is that we could have increased the number of our police. Our mobile police, we have about 80 squadrons as we speak. We should have upgraded them to semi-military format as they were with the concept when they were introduced into our security system in 1962, whereby in a state you have up to 10,000 men under the mobile unit staying in a large barracks operating with military format, with advanced training, advanced equipment, ready to go and ready to neutralize any threat to national security. That's what we could have done. Over the time, we have weakened and dismembered our mobile police in particular.
The military caused that.
Well, I wouldn't know who caused that.
Just remember, I mean, some of us have the history. I've read a lot of books about what has happened. Now, the danger was that the mobile police officers, they are well trained.
Sure.
And they were the ones that will go and quell any kind of uprising.
Sure.
They were very skilled, more than the military, more than any form of security agency.
Sure.
The mobile police, the one we call Mopol.
Yes.
They were different from what they were 40 years ago.
Exactly.
Because we are very strong, we are well trained, they have some military training, they have police training, and they could calm any kind of security. At the time, from what we know, a Mopol can actually take on 3-4 persons. One mobile police officer can actually take on 3-4 persons. That's how they were trained. But the military felt that at the time that these guys are becoming more powerful. They reduced their military training, and in that sense, mobile police was reduced. But then we are what we have in our hands. And I know that operation-wise, if the president was made an order for more personnel to be recruited, it will take a minimum of 3 months to recruit, 6 months to train, another 3 months to embed and assimilate them into the system. That means we're looking at a 1 year before the order of President Bola Tinubu that he has given today to take effect, operation-wise, logistic-wise.
I do not think so. My thinking still remains that within the context of what we have, let us improve our mobile police service delivery and recruit more men into the police. It's still the same Nigeria. We can look at what our neighbors are doing. We know we have national emergency. More training has to be given. And we can recruit more people and do emergency training within 3 to 4 months. We get them out of police colleges, and they'll be on the street.
Sorry, sir. Let me ask, and we are due for a break now.
Thank you.
An average police officer, how long does it take to train them?
6 months.
6 months. And I'm giving you, because I do a lot of strategy.
I know.
Before you can do recruitment, you will make announcement.
Sure.
And this is a civil service procedure.
I understand.
So you cannot recruit anybody in 3 weeks.
I understand.
If you take a minimum of 1 to 3 months, you train in 6 months. When they get out, won't they go, as soon as you release a trained police officer, where does he go first? He goes back home because he's been in training for 6 months. It takes another 1 to 3 months to be able to assimilate. I know what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
1 year, that's what you need for this order to take effect. But we'll take a break, everyone, and we'll wrap up this conversation with this experienced police officer. We'll be right back. For staying with us. On a final note, with my guest here, AIG Abutu, if you were president, as is declared a state of emergency today, what do you think should be immediate step in quenching or calming now? Just 30 seconds so we can close.
The immediate step will be taking most of this security proclamation by making them silently, not overtly. Because overt proclamation about intentions and design of security format can give another encouragement to criminal elements.
Thank you so
much. In order to outwit
AIG Abutu, thank you so much indeed for your time. I appreciate it.